The Edmonton Oilers host the Buffalo Sabres for Game 4 of this 5-game homestand, and we are so happy to welcome Cam Moon to Game Keys to break down all things Sabres, Oilers, and we just heard from Matthias Ekholm as well as Stuart Skinner this morning, which is fitting because a highlight for the Edmonton Oilers lately is how much they've been able to hone in on their defensive game. And we got to talk about Stuart Skinner because his last 3 starts, he's only allowed 3 goals, but he's so quick to credit the fact that the defense in front of him is doing a lot of things right.
They absolutely are. And shots against, they're not all equal. If you're giving up 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s or shots right from the slot area, those are high danger, high opportunity for the opposition type of situations. And giving those up is a recipe for disaster. And Edmonton was giving up far too many of them earlier on, and as a result, goaltender numbers weren't great, but overall the team numbers weren't great. To me, that has really been shored up here lately. So we're not seeing as many 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, or just blown coverages in the D zone, resulting in these 5-alarm chances that you need your goaltender to try and bail you out, but it's really difficult. And because of that, now, all of a sudden, those goalie numbers look a lot better. And just like Stuart had talked about, when the team is playing better that way, it's far more predictable for the netminder.
Yeah.
Knows exactly where these shots are likely to come from, and it gives you a much better chance of making the save. And Stuart's good at being in the right position and playing big. And if those shots are predictable, he's really good at making those saves. So I can see one leading into the other, and as a result, that has tidied up, and it makes it a lot easier to win games.
You mentioned one leading into the other, and so often good defense leads to good offense. That has been a highlight for the Edmonton Oilers these last few games as well. They've scored 15 goals in the last 2 games, and yesterday Connor talked about the fact that, well, we're actually just generating more chances, and I would argue a lot of high danger chances as well.
Yeah, I would say so. And some of those are because you're playing well in your own end, and backtracking well and creating turnovers, and then be able to generate off the rush. So there is that. But they've also been able to generate opportunity off a cycle when gaining zone time and then having, some time that has been extended in the opposition zone. You wear the defense down, and then you get chances. And the Oilers are putting it to the net maybe a little bit more than they were before.
Yeah.
At times it felt like there was that one extra pass, and that makes it difficult to keep getting great chances if you're always doing that one extra pass, because that can be defended. But putting it to the net and crashing the net, there's going to be rebounds, there's going to be tips. Oilers have scored some goals that way. They've also scored some great goals off the rush. And it's not lost on me that, Zach Hyman's back into the lineup, and then of course Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was out for a while, and he comes back into the lineup, that the offense is going to go up with those two, because those are 2 guys that play in your top 6 and that both play on the power play. And the power play has been lights out. So it's not lost on me. Those guys coming back and the uptick in offense go hand in hand.
Yeah, you love to see it from Oil Country, but let's talk about the Buffalo Sabres. The fact that the last time they saw the Oilers, middle of November, that was the Sabres game. Of course, they come up with the victory, but they also dominated a lot of that game. And Stuart Skinner was very quick to say how much skill guys they have up front, also on the blue line. So while they're coming into the second half of a back-to-back, they lost to Calgary last night. They've lost 3 straight now. You still have to be aware of them. Yeah,
I think you have to have tremendous respect for the Sabres, and I base that on what they did to the Oilers in November. And the game, yes, the Oilers they seemed quite flat.
Yeah.
But I think the Sabres helped make them flat. And it comes from their D. I think they generate offense from their D. Rasmus Dahlin is an amazing defenseman that can help generate offense. Bowen Byram's one of those guys. Owen Power can be one of those guys. Like their back end is very good, very mobile, and very active. And then you got a guy like Paige Thompson up front who has as good a shot as anybody in the National Hockey League and has to be respected at all times out there because of that shot. It's a team that they can get you, and the Oilers found that out. So I know they've hit a bit of a tough stretch here, but you still have to have tremendous respect for them because of what they did earlier in this season. Because it was obvious that in that game, Buffalo was the better of the two teams that day.
100%. And that being said, the Edmonton Oilers, they keep saying, I'm not sure if we've turned a corner. We kind of really need to be able to stack a few more together. Of course, you hope that. But are you seeing practice time pay off for this group right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Practice time and getting healthier, both of them. But I think the Oilers have played very well in 6 of their last 7 games. The one against Dallas, they weren't very good.
No.
But 6 of the last 7, I would say they've played quite well, whether they've got the result or not, because in a couple of those games they didn't. They lost to Tampa, they lost to Minnesota, but I thought they played really well in those games. And as a coaching staff, you're happy with the way your team played. You're not happy with that result, but there's only so many things you can control.
Yeah.
But when you see the team playing well and you're stacking good game upon good game, the results will come. And that is starting to show true right now. So as long as Edmonton can keep that going, and then the fact that you have some home games here, and you're playing some teams that are lower in the standings, but again, on any given day in the NHL, anybody can beat anybody, and you're seeing players come back into the lineup like Nugent-Hopkins, like Hyman, that all of those lead you to believe that the team is on the upswing. So you'd like to see it continue to upswing tonight.
And they will look to continue that tonight as they look for their 3rd straight victory hosting the Buffalo Sabres. Hey, we always win when we have you on Game Keys. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we know it. We know it for sure. And Oil Country can't wait to see you tonight.